Hello, today I'm going to make this file folio from my layered botanic tag kit. I used the kit to make these 3 tags with all the little tuck spots and whatnot, and I had so much left over from that one little kit that I thought I'd make something to store the rest of the little bits and bobs in, and I'm really pleased with the way it's turned out. So on the front cover here I've got 3 little tuck spots. Here I've got a tuck spot down here that I haven't utilised. Open it up, on the inside you've got 2 main envelopes that I've just put everything else in, like that. All the rest of my little tags have gone in there. I've got 2 extra little pockets here, so I've got more stuff in there. I've got all my little paper bits and bobs tucked away in there. Close the front, and then on the back I've got another pocket that I've got some more bits and bobs tucked in. So when this is stored in a box that I will make for them, I'll have a series of these with the little tab top, moved along on each one, so that they'll sit nicely as a set. And what's really nice about these, and what I really love most of all, is the fact that I've decorated it with all the little bits from the kit that I'm storing inside. Obviously you don't have to do that, but that's really tickled me today. So let's go ahead and let's make that. So I'm going to begin by taking 2 envelopes. I've got craft envelopes here, but you can use whatever you want, obviously. And we've got them facing like this. So they're going to close this way. So what we want to do is stick them together with a little bit of a gusset in the middle, so that we've got room to cram these envelopes full of lovely things. So we're going to start by, I've got this craft tape here, nice and wide. You can use what you want. You can use strips of fabric, you can use strips of paper that you've glued. But just to make it nice and easy and simple for myself, I'm going to actually start a bit further down, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm just going to lay this down on here, and I'm going to lay this other envelope. You can allow whatever you want, there's no hard and fast rules here. I'm just going to give myself a bit of, how thick do I want this? Who knows? Let's just go for it. There we go. Excuse me. Now the reason for wanting a bit of a tail here is because we want to fold this back down on itself to cover the inside sticky, and we'll just tear this off down here. Put the tape to one side, we're done with that, and then fold that up to meet. There we go. Right, so that will now fold, and we've got this little bit of leeway here in the gusset. So now we can go ahead and cover it. Look at all of this. But it seems only right to make something else. I've also got these 2 sheets left over, and some bits and bobs kicking about here as well. So we'll start by trimming ourselves a cover. And I'm not really one for measuring. Which bit would I like to go on the front? I think I'll have, I could go this way around if I wanted, couldn't I? I like this here, so I think I'll trim off my white edges. If you've gone borderless, obviously you don't need to do that, and I can go borderless on my printer, but I choose not to, for reasons that I've discussed in other videos. I'll get rid of those bits. I'll cut this off. There we go. Get rid of you for now. I don't know why I've just done that, because I need you back. So now I'm just going to mark off with a pencil, but I've got a pen here. Which way round are we going? I'm going to have it vertically, I think. I'm just going to mark off this here, giving myself a little border so that the envelope, the craft paper of the envelope, will act as a mat for me. So I've got my marks here. I'll trim these down. You can measure if you want to. Time for a new blade, I think. Sure, we can squeeze a bit more out of it. So there's one. That's going to be the cover. There, like that. Gorgeous. It doesn't matter that we got that little pen line, because obviously we're going to ink over the edges. And I'm also going to make one the same size for the back. Now look, I haven't got enough width on this one, so I'm going to have to cut into the new sheet. I'll trim these edges off first. There we go, get rid of those raw edges. And I'm going to mark off this and use it as a template for the one at the back. There we go, a couple of little pen marks there. And this time I'm going to slice this way first, because then I get to keep a bigger piece of scrap. There we go, that'll do it. There, like that. Lovely, we'll get that out of the way and try and think of any reason why I can't glue these on right now. I wanted this one at the front and I wanted that one at the back. We'll glue these on, and if there are any reasons why we shouldn't have done that, I'm sure they'll become clear quite soon. I'm going to glue on 3 sides. Oh, my glue's blocked up, look at that. There we go. I'm going to glue on 3 sides, giving myself a little pocket at the top. A little tuck spot at the top. I haven't inked this, that's annoying. I could, if I want, give myself a thumb hole here, but I don't think I'm going to. And also, no great shakes that I haven't inked. Because of this little ridge on the paper, it'll catch this piece of paper when I come to ink it in. There we go. So there we have our front. And we've got a little tuck spot here. We open it up, we've got lots of room to shove either our little tags or little scrap pieces that we want to keep to use for future. This can go in your journal. You could use it as a little file system to keep all your little bits that you don't want to part with because they're beautiful. And on this side we're going to do, I'm going to ink this one. Ink the back, why don't you, Parish? Ink here. I could have rounded these corners as well for a nicer effect. I love a rounded corner. So I'll ink this one first because I'm good like that. There we go. Pop the lid on there, save that drying up. And this is going, that's the top. So this is going this way up, and I'm going to ink, I'm going to glue these 3. To make another little secret pocket. Could have gone closer to the edge there, but there we are. Stick that on. So now we've got our front and our back and little pockets, little tuck spots. I can decorate these further with all manner of different things, and now I've got the inside to deal with. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is quite simply make another pocket here, just slightly shy of this, so that I've got another little tuck spot there, and that will decorate that on the inside. I think we'll keep this quite a simple affair. Let's find a piece that fits. You're a little bit too narrow. You're a little bit too small. Oh, although I quite like you there. So it's going to have to be this piece, I think. And we have to go in sideways. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this off. Can I use all of it? Yes, I can use all of it. So it's just the length that I want to mark, allowing a little space for a bit of a matting effect around the edge. I'll go ahead and just trim this down. Where's my mark? There it is. Right, this time I'm going to remember to ink, and I think I'll also give myself some thumb holes. I'm going to fold this in half as well. Which do I do first? I think I'll fold it in half, just so that we've got a nice, got a bone folder, but I've also got a thumbnail that'll do nicely for this job. There we are. You could also put more pages in here in the middle if you wanted to, but that's not what I want to do today. There we go. And what I'll do first, if I can find it, is I'll make some little thumb holes for myself. So I'll roughly mark that off in the centre, mark that off in the centre, pop this into my very temperamental circle cutter here. Doesn't like taking thick doesn't like taking thick things, so I can see my little mark in the middle there, so I can go ahead now and punch that out. I'll pop this one in. There we are, and now I'll ink that. Just quickly, you can take more time here if you want to. All the way around, there we are. What I could do here as well is I could gusset down here, which would mean that I would give myself two folds. I'll do that just to show you. So I've got my centre here. I'll just mark that off with my pen, and then just either side, just a little tiny bit either side of that pen line, or pencil if you're doing it properly, I'll score. And that will give me just a little bit of leeway. This is a challenge to fold when it's just a little bit, but that's fine. If we can damage those paper fibres inside, it'll soften up the sheet and give it more flexibility, which is exactly what we want here. Let's try it over here. It's a fiddle. That'll do us. So now I can go ahead and glue this on, I think. Is there anything I want to do here? No, I don't think there is. So I'm just going to glue this top edge and bottom edge and leave the rest. Could go down the middle, save everything sliding through, but we won't. There may be a reason why I want to keep that open in the middle. Can't for the life of me think what it is, but there might be one. But if you want to seal this off and make two separate pockets, by all means go and glue down the middle. Which way round shall I have it? That's a question, isn't it? I think I'll go this way up. Just line that up. And stick it down. Fantastic. Now I'm going to fold this over and just glue it down here as well, so that when it comes to being an operational, functional thing, we know that the card is happy where it's sitting. Now I wonder if I can go ahead and ink inside here I possibly could, but I don't think I will. Let's get this video done and this. So there we have, look at that, very simply our little folder. And now we need to make some decisions about how we're going to decorate it. I think it might be a nice idea if I got my circle cutter and I got a little tiny scrap here and cut a circle. I haven't printed on the backs of these sheets, but obviously you can if you want to. Get under my temperamental little circle cutter. Cut out a circle. See if we can get that bad boy out of there. There we go. And I could use these for tabs. So if I wanted to make more of these little file folders, I could have a tab here. The next one obviously would have a tab further along and so on. But if we do that, we only want to glue that tab onto the front. Let's go ahead and do that actually. Just half of it. Or would we actually glue it onto the back? We'd probably glue it onto the back, wouldn't we? So that we'd pull the whole tab forwards, which is a nuisance because I've only got single-sided paper at the moment, but we'll quickly cut out another one of these. Then I will, let's have a look. I'm going to need to glue these both together. So we'll do that. Lovely. Now ordinarily we might decide to put a tag a little bit on the outside, fold it, put a bit on the inside, but we can't do that here really because we need to be opening these flaps. So that's why I've just gone for one side, and I'll just pick one. And I'm going to put this on the reverse here. So this time I'm only going to glue half, or just slightly less than half as it looks looking. There we go. And I'm going to stick that on the back here, and that's my first little tab. And so the next one I made, I'd obviously put my little circle tab about here. There we go. Stick on there, fella. So we've still got, we can still open this without a problem. Right, what shall we do now? Let's have a look. I've got so many bits and bobs. Let's bring those into shot. Left over from the little layered tags that I made. I've got library cards. How beautiful. I can make a little tuck spot in here with that library card, really like that. I've got these tickets I can use to decorate. I really like that as well. And I've got so much stuff. This is just from one little kit. I designed this to make the layered tags here, which I've done. That's so exciting, there's so much of it. There we go, I might go like that. I'll cut one of these tickets off with my scissors. I did have a pair of scissors, they've gone. Got one of those off. And I'll stick this down the edge here. I like that. I could stick just down three sides, and then I've got a little tuck spot there. I think I'll go ahead and do that because tuck spots are amazing. So I glue this. Shall I ink it? Oh, I've already inked it. Look at that. Not like me. I did spend my evening last night cutting and inking all of the little components for the layered tag kit. And obviously you don't have to go and buy my kits to make these things. Just follow the principles, use it as an inspiration for your own jumping off point. There we go. I may not use that as a tuck spot, but I know that if I want to, one of these little bingo cards, I really like those, then I can. and I'm going to make this fella here. Love that. A simple little design, a dragonfly on a library card. Again, I've got the option of giving myself a thumb hole if I want to. Shall I line that up or shall I have it slightly inset? I think I'll have it slightly inset. It's nice to have borders. Have I done that right? Yes, I have. And then I'm going to pop my little vintage on there. Could even give myself a little tuck spot at the bottom of this one. Or I could turn that around. Go on. Why not? Let's max out on tuck spots. Oops, get that nice and straight. There we go. That's our front cover. And we'll give that a couple of minutes to dry and then we'll go back and pop a few things in and see how that's looking. So now I can come to the inside. I've got this lovely flap here. I've got this flap here. I can just pop everything in my envelope. I've got another tuck spot there, a tuck spot there. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe put a little bit of decoration of some description on these corners here. Now what I could do, I've got a little bit of music paper left over here from the last project, and you know how good, oh look, I've glued on top of there, that's annoying. You know how joyous it is to use up your scraps. Now then, how could I do this? If I glue this on here like this, I'll then just follow it round with a pair of scissors and cut that off, but I need a straight line to start with. So I'll go ahead and make that happen. Do it the other way around, so I've got a straight edge, a 90-degree angle. Go ahead and cut that off. And then I'm going this way around. I'm going to glue this on here and then cut it out afterwards, ignoring that little bit there. Okay, so I can go ahead and do that. I can't find a stick glue today, so I'll go ahead and use this fabric glue just because it's got a slightly bigger applicator. So I'm going to glue on my envelope flap like this. Hey, guess what I've missed the opportunity to do? Make another tuck spot. I could have left that edge and just glued around the edges here, couldn't I? But there we are. Maybe you didn't have too much of a good thing. How shall I line this up? I think I'll line that up. No, I want to do it by eye here. I think it'd be better. Make this up a little, get those out of the way. There we are, that's nice. Oh. There, now I can go around with me scissors. I definitely need scissors now. Look in there, over there. And I'll just cut this out. Actually, I'll give this a minute to dry and I'll do the other one. What have I got left? Have I got enough left? Yes, I have. So I'll go and glue this flap. Shall I do the tuck spot thing? No, I'm going to glue, let's just not have tuck spots everywhere, eh? I'm just going to glue this down. Make this a bit more rigid as well. I like that. A bit more over here. And just pop this on. While this one grabs and dries a little, I'll go ahead and cut the other one out. Over here, glue. Thank you very much. Sit there. So I will cut this one out. And ink the edges. Pains me to cut a corner by hand when I love my corner rounder up punch so much. But great. Oh, it's looking nice. Same on this side. So thrifty. I didn't want to cut through that other side because I'm sure there's a little bit of paper there that I can use. That I'll probably store in this very file. Some kind of irony, that, eh? There we are. I've got some nice things going on there. Look at that. I'm very happy with that. Oh, I'm very happy with that. Right, we'll ink these outside edges. A little bit soft because it's got moisture in it because of the glue. There we are. And while we're here, let's go along these edges as well, eh? Now, do you see what I mean? I forgot to ink that in, but because of this extra little lip of this card, if I go on the right sort of angle, I can get them both at once. And just catch that lip. And that works very well. Oh gosh, I'm so happy with this. It was just an idea I had when I finished making the tabs. The tags, I always call them tabs. When I finished making the tags, I thought, I've got so much stuff left over, what am I going to do? And obviously, first thought, make more things. And then I just thought, what am I going to do with all these little bits? There's always so many little bits. And what's quite nice here as well, of course, is that I'm making this file out of the kit where I'm going to store the excess bits from that kit. So it's really going to work very well for me, that. Very pleased, very pleased. I'll do the inside of these envelopes as well. And this one. I could have inked that before I stuck the little tab on. That's what a tab is, Emily. I hope you're all in shot here. I haven't checked. There we are, that's that inked up. And that's, I mean, that's pretty much it, really. We can stick some more things on the back. More tuck spots, etc., etc. I've got this left. That would work well. Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to trim this down a little bit, give myself a thumb hole in there. Waste all of that. Won't see that, but there we are. And it'll add to the rigidity of it as well, so that's fine. I'm not going to use this entire width. Let's trim that down a little. Wished I'd have cut this edge off though, so that I hadn't lost that, but never mind. I like to take just a whisker off this length. There we go, and I'll set that in just a little bit. Give myself a thumb hole here in the middle. Now it's helpful for me to just mark off by eye where I think the middle actually is, because I find that much easier than make that mark a little bit bigger, eh, so I can see it. Much easier to line it up in this hole cutter than I do to try and centre that. So we'll just go with this, I think. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go, grip that and stamp. There we are. And I will go, I'm going to round the corners. I'm going to have some rounded corners. For goodness sake, I love a rounded corner. There, all is well with the world. I have rounded corners. this little sweetheart. I'm tempted to add some notebook pages here. I think it could work quite well. You know, maybe in here or here like this. So many things you can do when you start making something. The ideas that come. Well, that's that glued, and that is that stuck. We'll go a little bit lower down. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. And one of my very pleasing makes this. Love that. So there's our front. Obviously, you know, when we were stored as files, would be stored this way. Let's have a look what it looks like with a few little tags in it. Pop you in that way. This is really going to make it look what have we got? What have we got? Oh, I've got so much. Have a look. Have a look. And this is all the leftovers. It's a fabulous little kit. Really versatile. There's a little nice little thing there that I could pop in. Did I leave this side open? Yes, I did. Thought I did. Pop that in there. And then I can open it up. I could decorate in here, couldn't I? Actually, that would be a really nice idea. It would add more rigidity here. And I could even add a few tuck spots there. I've got some, have I got any of that, of this left? Have I got enough of this left? I printed these out on card. I could make slightly smaller ones. Is that the same size as that? And does it matter? No, they're not the same size, and no, it doesn't matter. Is there any benefit to sliding that in there? No, because my little tuck spot would have to go under that. I don't think I'm going to do that because this needs to fold, doesn't it? And anything that was sticking out there is going to get in the way of that fold. So we'll leave that well alone. But, you know, so much stuff. Right. So let's load it. In actual fact, it's less a question of loading it for aesthetics and more, at this point, a place for me to store all my leftover little bits for my next project or future projects. Being a bit premature there, my glue's not had a chance to grab and settle. So there we go. And then, where can I even get all of these bits in this envelope? There's a lot of bits. I've got all these little bits that I printed out at half size on paper, just to be a little extra embellishments that I'd stick down. And then I've got everything printed out, the entire set printed out just once. I haven't repeated anything here. These are repeats. This is just one page of repeats. But all of this I've just printed out each page once. So I've got all of my little paper bits and bobs, which be a good idea to pop those in there. Get your hands out of the way, Emma. Pop those in there if they'll go. Yes, they will. There we go. They're all stored nicely in there, apart from one or two that have slipped into the main envelope. And then I'll use the main envelope. In fact, I only have to put half of them in that side. I'll put the other half in the other side. There we go. I could take a bit more time, couldn't I, and put them all the right way round. And then I shall just gather up everything I've got left. You can take the time to sort if you want to. And I'm going to pop those in there. Get all these together roughly in a pile. Oh, the tickets, now then, they might be a bit too long to go in, but that's okay. I'll fold them in half and pop them in there. Still got room down here to pop some things. It's nice to look at when you open it, isn't it? What shall I make? What shall I make? Oh, I know, I've got all those bits in that file. Let's see what's there. And this kit as well, of course, with it being quite classically vintage, it's got the botanical element to it, but it's also got a lot of bits and pieces that are more generic and vintage and can be used for, oh, so much, so much. So we'll just pop those in there. And there we have it, our finished file folder. Look at that, absolutely delightful. I really love it. If I wanted to, I could think of some sort of closure. I'm not going to do that now, but I could cut something out. I could stick this on, fold it over, you know, tuck it in, get a magnet on there. I could get this beautiful little piece of ribbon here and just fasten it with a ribbon, or just have it in a box with all its friends, doing its own thing. So there we go. Beautiful little storage file folio for all your bits and pieces. Equally, of course, you could do this to go as a page in your in a journal. There we go.